Some discoveries feel like mistakes. Objects buried where history says they shouldn't exist. Ancient artifacts, strange technology, pieces that refuse to fit the official story. Are they relics of a civilization long forgotten, or evidence of something far more unsettling? Let's take a look. The wheel. In Cambridgeshire, something extraordinary surfaced from the past. A nearly perfect ancient wheel. Not the first wheel ever made, but one that rolled its way through history over 3,000 years ago. Archaeologists at Must Farm stumbled across the find, a wooden wheel about a meter wide, still clinging to its original hub. Historic England called it an absolute game changer, blown away by how well it survived the brutal test of time. Duncan Wilson, the head of Historic England, confirmed it. This is the oldest complete wheel ever discovered in Britain. The site itself tells an even deeper story. Thousands of years ago, a small community built wooden homes on stilts over a marsh. Life thrived above the wetlands, until fire swallowed their homes and sent everything tumbling into the river below. That's where the wheel was found. And a wheel means roads. Somewhere beyond those watery homes, solid ground had to exist. Maybe a path leading to trade, travel, or escape. Human fossils from the dinosaur age. Now switching gears, what if a discovery didn't just stretch history, but broke it completely? Back in 2016, a single phone call kicked off one of the strangest archaeological dramas ever recorded. It led deep into Colombia's mountains, to the heavily guarded home of Professor Jaime Gutierrez Lega. Professor Gutierrez wasn't just some amateur collector. His house was packed wall to wall with ancient artifacts, statues of gods, golden jewelry, ceremonial tools. It looked like a museum where history never ended. But at the center of it all sat the true crown jewel, a fossil that threatened to rewrite everything. This fossil, embedded with seashells and long bony structures, looked eerily like a human hand. The professor didn't hesitate. Pointing to the fossil, he said, "Those are knuckles. And not just any knuckles, human ones. Supposedly from 130 million years ago, right back in the age of dinosaurs." If that claim were true, it would be like finding a laptop inside a pharaoh's tomb. Completely impossible according to everything known about evolution. Humans, or even early primates, weren't anywhere near the planet at that time. The closest relatives wouldn't show up until dinosaurs were wiped out, about 66 million years ago. Still, Professor Gutierrez swore it was real. He claimed he personally dug up the fossil in 1999 from Cretaceous rock near Bogota. He even had old black and white photos showing the excavation site. It all sounded incredible. Maybe a little too incredible. But when it came time to back up the claim with science, things got shaky fast. The only experts to have examined the fossil were Dr. Kent Hovind and Dr. Carl Baugh. Hovind, a known young Earth creationist who once ran a Christian theme park and served prison time for tax crimes. Baugh, another creationist, believed dinosaurs and humans shared playgrounds based on biblical stories. Safe to say, neither one exactly had the scientific world lining up behind them. Real scientists eventually took a closer look. Names like Dr. Peter Pritchard, Dr. Peter Mann, and Dr. Walter Joyce stepped in. One look was all it took. It wasn't a human hand at all. It was the flipper of an ancient sea turtle. Turns out, turtles and humans share some basic bone structures, including the same number of finger bones. But turtle flippers have a telltale feature: short, round, pisiform bones, while humans are longer and more stretched out. Case closed. The ancient hand wasn't human. It belonged to a giant sea turtle that once glided through prehistoric oceans. Even after hearing the experts, Professor Gutierrez stood by his story. In his mind, the fossil still holds secrets no one's willing to admit. At the end of the day, whether it's a human hand or a turtle flipper, one thing's for sure: history isn't just dates and artifacts. It's a massive puzzle, and sometimes the pieces don't fit the way anyone expects. The Holy Chalice of Valencia. Forget the myths about golden goblets granting eternal life. The Holy Grail, according to Christian legend, was nothing more than an ordinary cup, a simple vessel Jesus used at the Last Supper. Yet because of who touched it, that cup became one of the holiest relics in history. For centuries, scholars have argued whether the real cup even survived. But in a golden chapel in Valencia, Spain, one contender sits protected behind thick glass, the Holy Chalice of Valencia. The story winds back to after Christ's resurrection. It's said that Peter, one of Jesus' closest followers, took the cup and kept it safe. Eventually, a Roman soldier carried it out of the chaos of the early Christian world and into Spain. Over time, simple faith turned into something grander. Jewels were added, gold encrusted around it, and by the 13th century, what once was an ordinary cup had become a glittering symbol of divine history. Today, the Holy Chalice rests inside Valencia Cathedral, a treasure hidden in plain sight. Whether it's the true Grail or just a powerful symbol, it's a reminder that sometimes the most sacred things are the simplest, and that history has a way of wrapping simplicity in layers of legend. But relics aren't the only things history leaves behind. Sometimes coins tell their own wild stories of power and conquest. Coins from the legendary Legion. On the ancient grounds of Georgia, archaeologists unearthed a lost fortune. Roman coins, battered and stamped with strange marks. Not damage from time, but deliberate punches, symbols hammered into metal by Roman hands. The coins likely belonged to the infamous Legio Exfratensis, the 10th Legion of the Strait. Born under Emperor Augustus in 41 BC, these soldiers didn't earn their reputation through kindness. They crushed revolts, conquered cities, and left blood and ashes wherever they marched. Their symbol was a bull, a beast as tough and stubborn as they were. In the ruins of the Roman fortress of Apsaros, coins were found bearing that very bull, countermarked like a brand. This wasn't vandalism, it was survival. Roman coins wore out just like everything else, and countermarking gave old money new life, keeping the economy alive out on the empire's distant frontiers. The story gets deeper. Historians believe these particular coins came from Jerusalem, stolen when the 10th Legion stormed the city in 70 AD and looted the treasury of Judea. Dragging the spoils across continents, they needed to validate their plunder. Thus, the bull-stamped coins were born. Each mark isn't just an ancient signature, it's a brutal footprint of conquest, one more piece of a story where empires rose and fell, and money changed hands under blood-red skies. But not every relic fits neatly into a known story. Some discoveries are so strange, they make even seasoned scientists do a double-take. Aliens, mastodons, and metal teeth. Romania, 1974. Beneath the dirt of Aiud, workers digging through sandy soil stumbled onto something strange. Among the ancient bones of mastodons, something gleamed. A wedge of aluminum, shaped like no fossil ever seen. Named the Wedge of Aiud, the object weighed around 5 pounds and didn't belong there. Aluminum doesn't occur naturally in pure form, and it wasn't isolated by humans until the 19th century. Yet there it was, buried next to animals extinct for tens of thousands of years. The find got tucked away in a museum in Transylvania, gathering dust until a UFO enthusiast rediscovered it in 1995. Soon, theories exploded like fireworks. Was it a chunk from an alien spaceship? Proof that time travelers had swung by during the Ice Age? Tests revealed the wedge was made of duralumin, a modern, strong aluminum alloy. But aluminum oxidizes fast. Exposed to the right soil, it can look ancient in just a few decades. Scientists offered a grounded theory. The wedge might be a broken tooth from an excavator bucket, dropped during mining or digging operations common in the area during the 19th or 20th centuries. Still, one problem refuses to be neatly explained. How did a piece of mining equipment end up buried among mastodon bones, untouched for thousands of years? Since aluminum can't be carbon dated, and the wedge has since disappeared into a private collection, real answers remain just out of reach. No serious study of the patina was ever done. No proper excavation records exist. Instead, the Wedge of Aiud hangs in that odd gray space between reality and legend, where cold facts and wild imaginations collide. Maybe it's just a scrap of metal, or maybe it's something that challenges the neat little timeline carefully laid out in textbooks. One thing's clear, the Earth's soil is packed with secrets, and not every one of them fits into the boxes built by science. In every era, the past leaves behind pieces of a puzzle. Some fit snugly into the stories we already know. Others throw everything into question. That's the thing about history. It's never just facts carved in stone. It's layers of lost lives, forgotten victories, hidden mistakes, and mysteries still waiting to be solved. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you go. See you next time. Bye.